Ask not what trees can do for music. That's much too obvious. Trees have made music, as pretty much most of the world knows it, possible. We bless them for having given us so many of our instruments and listening spaces. Would we have recorded music were it not for the wood that made loudspeaker cabinets? Treelogy, a musical portrait of California's redwood, Sequoia and Joshua Trees, features 3 new tree pieces by composers from California. Given their first performances at the Soraya on Thursday night, the works ask, instead, what music can do for trees. They arrive at a crucial moment, as for the first time in their centuries-old lives, a great many of our state's enduring majestic residents face an existential threat from wildfires. We've changed the climate. Now what? Can 3 splendid pieces of music, inspired by trees, save our state? Of course not. But the real value of Treelogy is subliminal. Trees inspire art. Art serves to enhance awareness. Awareness saves the day. Trees have always been welcome in classical music. No trees means no leafy springtime branches to start off Vivaldi's Eternal, the 4 seasons. Opera without trees as settings is unthinkable. In order to transform a mythological nymph into a tree, Richard Strauss ended his opera, Daphne, with a transcendental musical photosynthesis that mimics the mystical sensation of standing under a redwood. Want to become one with nature? Bond with a tree. Strauss has a full opera to prepare you for this epiphany. Billy Childs, Gabriella Smith and Stephen Mackey, each commissioned by the Soraya to write a 25-minute piece for the string ensemble Delirium Musicum, don't have anything like that opportunity. They didn't even get program notes, only 2-minute Vimeo video introductions linked to a physical or digital 1-page program sheet. The new scores were played in front of large projections of the trees by New York Times photographer Max Whittaker. Otherwise, the pieces were left to speak for themselves. Had they been heard outside the Treelogy, conceptual umbrella and with different titles, the scores wouldn't exactly scream trees. But then again, we surround ourselves with the bounty of trees without thinking. And for a couple of hours, we thought trees. That stayed with me long enough to feel new gratitude for the wooden desk on which I'm typing. Childs, my roots spread far and wide, easily makes the communication between his improvisational jazz trio and his more formal material for the virtuosic and versatile delirium strings. Listening to it is as gratifying as tree roots reaching out to different plant species in the forest. The piece itself, though, gave the impression of what it felt like to be with a giant sequoia in its own environment. One thing doesn't necessarily have to lead to another in a freewheeling forest.